Hey, everybody. Welcome to Betting 101 with a couple of bettors here. This is our series that we try to use to give everybody a few little tips about wagering, how to bet, and all those types of things. And I think this is an important one this week, something that everybody should know, everybody should understand because it helps you when you're placing bets. So the VIG, the juice, a couple different names for it.
Not O.J. Simpson. No.
Not O.J. Simpson. Former Buffalo Bill, by the way. Pride of Buffalo, right?
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So the VIG, the juice, what is it, right? It's basically the fee or the commission charged by a bookmaker to accept a gambler's wager. So in that way, it's pretty simple. The VIG, people say VIG. It comes from some Yiddish slang word for vigorish. But basically how bets are quoted, take into consideration the juice. So a bet or a line is always quoted. Let's say there's a spread, right? Bills minus 11.5 versus the Packers, let's just say. Let's just say. They'll quote that as minus 110, right? And it's related to a $100 bet. So you want to give a few examples of just like simply like what if you see a number, what it comes out to.
So if you have a minus 110 VIG and you have to put up 110, you'll get 100 out of it. Okay, and then you see the same thing. If it's minus 120, you have to put up the 120 in order to get $100.
EV, right? That's basically even money. That means 100 wins 100. And then further, if it's plus money, which you don't get these a lot, but there's sometimes where the casino wants to balance their books, they'll make the line and the juice a little bit in your favor, which means you can actually put up $100 to win 110 if it was at plus 110. So that's kind of like just the general way to think about these things. So the bookmakers are moving, why is the juice different? And I think that it's really to kind of either entice players to bet on a certain side or to deter them to bet on a certain side, right? So I think that key numbers, like let's say in football, are where the juice actually starts to matter. So, when we go through a normal week, we see most of them at minus 110, right? I mean, it's like 90% of the bets are minus 110. But as these spreads approach these key numbers, so 3s and 7s in football for field goals and touchdowns are key numbers. If you went from 2.5 spread to 3, that's a big deal. If you went from 3 to 3.5, or 6.5 to 7, or 7 to 7.5, it's a big deal because if you land on that exact number, let's say it was 3, and you land on that 3, it's a push. The casino doesn't want to push. They want to win their money. So they'd rather say, hey, you know what? At 2.5, we'll adjust the juice to give you less points, potentially, if you're betting on a favorite. So, for example, we just have this one. It was like a couple weeks ago, Colts-Broncos first half, right? And the line was at 2.5. So the Broncos are favored by 2.5 points.
Idiots.
Minus 2.5. Yeah, I'm sure this was not a cover. But the juice was minus 120. So that means you have to put up some extra money. You have to put up $120 to win 100. And the reason they're doing that is because if they moved that line from 2.5 to 3, and then it landed on a 3-point difference, everybody gets their money back. Again, this is not exactly what the casinos in business do, is get their money back. So they're trying to adjust the juice and the lines a little bit just so that they could potentially win their money. And you can have a clear, definitive winner and loser. So anyway.
Sure, we're all so much smarter now.
That's the juice. That's the VIG. It's basically just fees you're paying to the casino. You just got to be careful and watch out for them because you don't want to get to a situation where you're minus 130 and you got to put up $130 to win 100. Or if you put up 100, like Christine mentioned earlier, and then you actually win less than you thought you were going to win, that stinks too.
Well, if you have a good app, they'll actually just tell you what your wager or what you're going to get paid out. I like those apps because then I don't have to do anything.
All right. Hope that was helpful for everybody. See ya.